What's good, everyone? It's your boy Dubs, and we back at it with another video. Make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you're new. Hit the like button, as every like and every sub is always greatly appreciated, and it helps show support to the channel and also lets me know that you're enjoying this content and will recommend more content to you like this in the future. In today's video, we'll be going over the two saddest teams in the NBA, one from the Western Conference, one from the Eastern Conference. We're going to talk about their current situations. We're going to talk about what they can do going forward and just our overall opinion on everything's going on. And as always, if you have an opinion that's different than mine, I love to hear it and I love to read your guys' comments. So make sure to go ahead and throw it down in the comment section. But without further ado, let's go into today's video. So the first thing that we'll be going over, and I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little raspy, I am trying to get over the flu right now, but I got to get this content out to you guys. The first team that we'll be going over, though, is none other than the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, the 76ers have a myriad of different issues that we can go ahead and talk about, but we're going to just really talk about the main ones up front. First off, none other than their franchise player, Joel Embiid. Now, with Joel Embiid, obviously, no one is discrediting the talent that is Joel Embiid. A lot of people can argue about his shape and his basketball shape that he stays in. I definitely think that plays a part into his injuries. I mean, how can it not? If you take good care of yourself in the offseason and you prep, then you should be able to stay healthy. But Joel Embiid, with him being as big as he is and weighing as much as he does, his body is just not holding up. And that's kind of been the MO on Joel Embiid ever since he first came into the league, is can his body hold up during a long and gruesome NBA season? 82 games plus a playoff run, right? Joel Embiid is not healthy by any stretch of the imagination. And when he comes out and he talks about how, it's going to take him another surgery to feel like he can then recover from that surgery and be 100%, now you're just taking a shot in the dark, because he's felt like that, and I'm sure as an athlete, if you even played like middle school basketball, heck, park basketball, even if you go to the local YMCA or 24-hour fitness, you always tell yourself that, hey, once I get better from whatever's ailing me, I'm going to be 100%, I'll be good to go. And that's just not the case. And the 76ers have no reason to believe that Joel Embiid is going to get healthy. I mean, from the back to the knees to the foot, he's pretty much suffered every basketball injury damn near possible to your body. And he's falling apart. And it's sad to see it, because when Joel Embiid is healthy, there's no doubt in anybody's mind he's one of the top 5 players in the league. I mean, heck, they don't give out MVPs for nothing. As much as people would like to argue for their other favorite player to win an MVP, and the MVP award is something that is definitely earned and not given. And like I said, there's no questioning his talent as a player. He's one of the most gifted big men that we'll probably ever see, besides like the Nikola Jokic's of the world, which is another all-time great, right? Embiid has the possibility to be an all-time great, but I would like to believe that the best of Embiid, we've already seen it. I don't think he's going to ever get back to that form again. You can debate me left and right on it, but just given the issues currently going on with him and talking about there's going to be another surgery and then he's going to be 100%, I mean, I just don't see it. I really don't. Can Embiid be someone who still goes out there and gets you 20 and 10 a night? Yeah. But what good is 20 and 10 when he gives up, 20 on the other end? What good is the 10 rebounds when the other team has 20 or 30 because he just simply can't move? Like, we've seen a numerous amount of games this year where it just seems like if they go, you might as well kiss fast break defense goodbye. He has no type of fast break defense because he can't move. If a rebound flies 5 feet away from him, he can't go get it. The man is just not healthy. And, for the 76ers as an organization, they have some really tough decisions to make, because they've already made a lot of bad ones. And that leads us into our next conversation piece when it comes to 76ers. And with Paul George, giving Paul George that contract. Paul George, and it's sad because he used to be one of my favorite players, especially to watch. And he seems like he's a good guy. Shout, his podcast and everything of that nature. But Paul George is being more known for his podcast than he is his play. I think he's averaging, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, like around 12 points per game this season. Paul George, are we talking about the same Paul George, one of the best, or at least used to be one of the best two-way players in the game? And I get that he's getting older, but what in the heck happened to Paul George? Like, I get everyone gets on him for he's so quick to hop on his podcast, but not hop on the court. He's so quick to deliver a hot take in the booth, but can't go and give you a night where he's on a heater anymore. Like, I believe in Paul George because Paul George is just awesome. But believing and then actually him going out there and doing it are two different things. And with that contract being on their books the way it is, they can't go out and sign another big star. So that's it. All they got is Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. And with Paul George not giving you anything on the offensive side, getting blown up on the defensive side, you're cooked. You got Embiid who can't move, and you got Paul George who just can't get right. And so you feel for someone like a Tyrese Maxey, because Tyrese Maxey is one of the better guards in the whole league. Definitely, you can argue he could have been snubbed for an all-star this year. And he's going to get all-stars in his career, don't get it wrong. But he has no help whatsoever. So now we're relying on Tyrese Maxey to score 30 points a night for them to even have a chance to win games. And so what? Let's say they, because the East is weak and everyone's tanking for Cooper Flagg, which we may talk about in another video because Cooper Flagg is coming out now saying that he may stay another year at Duke. So people are tanking kind of. Don't get me wrong, this draft class is still loaded, but obviously Cooper Flagg being the marquee that everyone wants. Do you even tank? And if you don't tank, what are you going to do? End up the 6th, 7th seed and go out in the first round again? So, I mean, as a 76ers organization, what do you really do? I think personally, moving forward, and we'll kind of do this when we talk about our team in the West, how do we improve this situation? I think the only thing that you can do at this point, realistically, is just sit back. I mean, they don't have no other choice. Joel Embiid and Paul George are two of the worst contracts in the league now. When you look at it as far as how many dollars they're making to their production. Embiid's always hurt, and Paul George, we don't know where he's at. So it's like, as a 76ers organization, I guess in the summertime you try to see what you can get for Paul George, but I guarantee you it's not going to be what you put into him because people are going to want more assets from you to get him off your hands, and they don't really have any assets. So who knows really what the 76ers can do. Once again, I feel for Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I guess you can try to just hope that Embiid gets healthy. But if I were them, I would completely bank on hoping Embiid gets healthy, hoping Paul George comes around. In the moment, if they even show a glimmer that they do, I would trade them. I would trade them so fast that the people in Philly wouldn't even know what hit them. Kind of like when Luka went to the Mavs, that's how fast they'd be up out of there too. I wouldn't let nobody know about it, and I would just move off of the both of them and build around Tyrese Maxey, which is easier said than done. But Paul George not being around and not being able to get into the swing of things in Philly, and then Embiid's health, the 76ers are really one of the saddest teams in the East, and I don't even think it's close. Moving on to the Western Conference. When it comes to the Western Conference, the saddest team, and there's quite a few of them, but it has to be the Dallas Mavericks. From all points and all people involved, the Dallas Mavericks got to be the saddest team in the West. I don't have to rehash too much about the Luka and AD trade. I mean, they got Max Christie back, and as I would think, being a diehard Lakers fan, I knew that the Mavs would love Max Christie and the Mavs fans would love Max Christie. Good two-way guard, 3-point shots coming around, and he's shown that he can go ahead and take people off the dribble a little bit too. Tyrese Maxey is going to be, a very, very, very good NBA player for the rest of his career, not to mention the fact of how young he actually is. But the glaring hole, AD for Luka. I don't want to like I said, I don't want to spend too much time rehashing. I feel like everyone has had their own take on the Luka AD trade. But with AD going out, and he was playing so good before he got injured, and then, Derek Lively still being out, Daniel Gafford getting hurt. Now they have nobody at the center position, so it's just Kyrie, a few wing players. You got PJ Washington, who's a really solid player. But they don't have nobody. They have no one. So their window for a championship was already small, and that's with AD being healthy, right? AD being, I think he's 32 years old. Now that window shrinked even more, and who knows if this is going to be a lingering issue for AD. We hope that it's not, because over the last few seasons, AD has been pretty much healthy. But the Mavs have got to be the saddest team in the West, given their championship window is closing even more and even more rapidly now. With it being only the Kyrie Irving show, which Kyrie can go out there and get you 30 to 40, but what good is it going to do you once you go up against a team with size like the Lakers of the world, the Houston Rockets of the world, the Oklahoma City Thunder, heck, even some team like the Clippers having Ivica Zubac and, just having size in general on the team somewhere, rather it's in the center and your wings, guards. I mean, heck, they got PJ Washington, and I think he's only like 6'7". So it makes it really, really challenging for them to be able to do anything. And it's just utterly sad when you stop and think about it, because Kyrie Irving is getting ready to be potentially be a free agent this summer. So if he decides to walk, or if he decides to go somewhere else, what's going to happen then? And a lot of people would say, with Nico Harrison having a Nike connection, Kyrie and AD being close friends, that may not happen. But Kyrie may say, I want to go somewhere in the last few years of my career where I can, have a good chance of winning a championship. And if AD goes down, their championship hopes pretty much go out the window. And that's the only problem with AD. He is such a great player that if you lose him, an Embiid, it's like losing a Giannis. It's like losing a Şengün. You're losing not only your centerpiece, but you're losing pretty much your franchise guy. And so the Mavs not having AD, not having Lively, not having Gafford. Lively's supposed to come back. AD may come back, but they're going to be all banged up in the Western Conference with it being as heavy and as strong as it is. I don't see anywhere where the Mavs can improve. And then when you're talking about going into next season, with AD being your franchise guy, it's hard to really have anything that you can physically grab onto and say, yeah, I feel good about this. I believe that AD's talent, I believe that AD as a person, AD as a player, can be the number one piece on championship team. But his health has not really been there. And if, Lively's hurt, Gafford's hurt, AD's hurt, you hope that all those guys come back, but there's going to be too much ground to try to make up. Now, granted, if they're healthy, I wouldn't want to see the Mavs in the play-in tournament. I wouldn't want to see the Mavs in the first round of the playoffs. But that's what you're banking on, is that everyone's going to be healthy. And based off of what we already know as far as how long Gafford's out, how long AD's out, that's not going to happen. What can they do moving forward? They're kind of in the same situation as, the 76ers. Don't get me wrong, I think AD's a lot more movable, hence why he got moved once before. But you really have to just bank on it, because how the contracts are all set up and the CBA set up, which, the first apron, second apron, those types of things, it makes it so much harder for you to move, especially when you have multiple franchise guys. Kyrie, AD, Embiid, Maxey, and Paul George. It's hard to move those types of guys. You have to get multiple teams involved, hence why the Lakers did that trade with Utah. They didn't even know, because had they known, they probably wouldn't have helped, but the Lakers would have just found somebody else who would be willing to do it. But you have to get multiple teams involved, and that takes a lot of work. So are the Mavs' new ownership and everything ready to put in that type of work? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But even if they do, with AD being their franchise guy, if he goes out, then everything's pretty much done for. So the Mavs find themselves in a really tricky situation. I mean, you could say that about a lot of teams, that if their star player goes out, they're done for. But their star players don't go out. Like, yeah, you can say that about Oklahoma City, but Shea's healthy. Shea, for the most part, is always healthy. You can say the same thing about the Lakers. If LeBron goes out, then they're kind of cooked. But now they got Luka, and LeBron always stays healthy. You can say the same thing about Boston. If Tatum goes out, then they could be cooked, but they got Brown, and Tatum does stay healthy. So we can play the hypothetical of what if, but the reality of the situation is that AD is more probable to injury than all those other guys. So if AD goes out, the Mavs title hopes and title contention is gone. And that's kind of where they're at right now. So those are my two saddest teams in the NBA. In the Western Conference, we got the Dallas Mavericks. In the Eastern Conference, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me know down in the comment section if you agree with me or if there's other reasons that why they might be sad, or you can go ahead and tell me 100% that I'm wrong and give me who you think is the saddest team. Let me know down in the comment section. I always read comments. It's always cool to interact with you guys and see where your guys' mindset is. But hey, it's been your boy Dubs, and y'all already know what time it is. Make sure to hit that sub button for me if you're new. Hit that like button, and I'll be back with more NBA content soon. Love you guys. Be safe. Peace.